in praise of hobbies that lead nowhere. There's something so rad and punk about doing something for no reason. Not for money, not for prestige, not because it scales, but simply because you love it. We live in a time where leisure has become currency, where hobbies must justify themselves through output. If you paint, someone asks, why don't you sell it on Etsy? If you play guitar, someone suggests Spotify. If you jog, people demand marathons and personal bests. Every pastime is subjected to the logic of productivity. But what about the things that lead nowhere? The poems that never become a book, the sketches that never adorn a gallery, the seeds cultivated not to sell or survive, but to green the world around you. The word amateur comes from the Latin amator, lover. It means doing something for the love of it. That's the kind of activity I want to protect. Amateurism not as unskilled, but as untainted, free of return of investment, free of market demands. When you cook a meal not worthy of photographing, when you take photos no one else will ever see, when you tinker late into the night with a puzzle no one asked you to solve. These are hobbies that resist the cult of optimization. They are play, and adults are starving for play. The slowness of presence. Sometimes the best lessons hide in the little things, like Jenga. You stack block after block, and every move takes patience. Rush, and it collapses. Slow down, and the move feels steady, effortless. That's the thing. Rushing kills quality, not just in games, but in life. Somewhere along the way, speed became synonymous with productivity. But what actually creates depth and delight is slowing down long enough to notice what you're doing. Byung-Chul Han calls ours the burnout society, where endless options replace clear demands. Because we can do everything, we try to do too much. We hustle our hobbies, track our steps, count our calories, until even leisure feels like a report card. Against this backdrop, simple unproductive hobbies are radical. Knitting not to sell online, but because the repetition calms you. Writing a haiku no one else will read. Doodling something that remains taped only to your wall. This isn't laziness, it's rebellion disguised as free time. Gatsby and the green light. Think of Gatsby, reaching always for the green light, believing it meant a future of happiness, but finding it forever out of reach. We chase our own green lights. The perfect body, the finished project, the viral video, and even when we arrive, the finish line shifts a little further away. Arrival never satisfies the hunger. So maybe the point isn't to arrive, it's to reach. To let the green light exist without needing to possess it. That's what hobbies that go nowhere offer. Freedom from arrival. They train us to rest in process, practicing presence. What you practice, you improve. Many people practice distraction, checking their phones, splitting their attention, fragmenting life into dopamine hits. They get better at absence until presence feels impossible. But presence is a skill too, and a humble hobby, a quiet craft, a useless puzzle, a song hummed in the shower demands attention. Give something your undivided time, not because it earns results, but because it makes you proud that your presence remains intact. It is simple. That is not the same as easy. Love without ambition. To love without ambition requires humility. The crude paintings, the off-key guitar, the clinched poems. None of it has to impress, because for a moment you forget you're being watched. This is play, and play is resistance. To plant a seed not for food, but for bloom. To wander a bookstore without documenting it online. To linger over tea simply because the steam rises, fragile, fleeting. Each act resists efficiency. They don't scale, and that is their dignity. Once leisure bends to capital, once it must earn its place through money or metrics, it ceases to be refuge. Play becomes labor, and something dies. A gentle invitation. So here is an invitation. Pick up a hobby that cannot go anywhere, at least nowhere that matters to the world. A useless craft, a solitary routine, an activity so unscalable it would lose its essence the moment you tried to upload it. Normalize the unproductive. Normalize the fleeting. Normalize what never becomes more than itself. Remember, the amateur is simply a lover, someone who loves for its own sake. Tomorrow, yes, we will still be carried against the current, still stretching towards some elusive light. But tonight, let yourself paint a canvas no one sees, learn a song no one hears, write words no one reads. This is how life gains texture, through affection scattered on the things that lead nowhere. Because sometimes, nowhere is the most beautiful place to go.